This is going to be my fourth video. Okay, well, sorry about that. My cat is staring at me through the door. I guess trying to get my attention, but runs away whenever I walk up to her. I guess that's what cats do, and that's why I love her so much. We have an 1800 hand session here, and before I was doing all the hands that were 20 big blinds or more. Now I'm just doing 30 big blinds or more, just to kind of get through the hands a little bit faster. Out of 1800 hands, it looks like there are, well, we'll see. I'm going to right click, hit replay all. I just did an hour-long session review of just 12 hands, so that took a lot longer than I thought it would. And I actually tried to move kind of quickly, but this one I'm really just going to try to go kind of quick because it's midnight here. I already worked about 5 hours tonight at a restaurant. I just finished my Dos Equis that I was drinking from the first replay session video. And I have 28 hands to go through. And this is looking like it's going to be like an hour and a half. So let's just get to work. I have pocket nines. I raised 30 cents. Fine. That's fine. The guy donks into me for 80 cents on a 252 board. And I'm going to call. I don't see any reason to fold. That's a pretty safe turn card. He bets $2, and I'm going to call. And he checks, and I check. I don't really mind my check, really. So at this point, I'm really not sure what he's doing. A 48-17 is just kind of they can be super random sometimes, and he could be doing anything really. He could be betting his draw. He could be betting ace high. He could be betting pocket fours. He could be doing anything. He could be betting a 5. But I'm not really gonna be fist pumping at the river here when he checks to me. I'm really just gonna try to just win the pot here. So the money is going to him, and he has aces. So, you know, well played. He has aces. I lose that hand. I think everything I did was perfectly standard. Everything's fine. 8 queen. I'm gonna raise that, obviously, because I'm on the button. I think that my steal, yeah, I have like 70% steal from the button here, which is, I'm comfortable with that. Especially at 10 and L, people aren't going to be 3-betting too light yet. They're not too aggressive. So you can play a lot more hands in position. This guy's 21 ones, queen 10 ace. I'm not really going to be betting too much, but I'll probably just bet like the flop here. I get min raised. I was just going to call that one time and then just fold a turn bet if I didn't hit a queen or like another 8. So he checks to me, and okay, so this, I don't really like how I'm playing this. This is like, what, the second hand? So I could have even just checked behind on the flop. I mean, that would have been fine if I just checked behind. But betting is okay too, I guess. Just to take it down. I'm not really going to want to, like, if I check behind on the flop and he's betting me with like 5s or whatever and just trying to like win the pot, he might think I have like pocket 9s or 8s or a weak 10, and he can try to win the pot with like a better. I'm not going to want to call with queens too much. He min raises me, like, that's fine because we're a little bit deep stacked and a lot of things could happen. But then when he min raises me on the flop and this turn card comes, I'm really just going to want to check. and I really kind of don't like seeing myself bet this, because then obviously it just opens up this ridiculous check raise on the turn as well. So he bombs the river here, and of course I have to fold. So that was me just playing like a complete dumbass, and I'm going to be watching this video and hitting myself in the head. I'm not really sure why I did that. That was just being stupid. Next hand, pocket sixes. Okay, so this guy min 3 bets to 60 cents, and he is really bad stats. I'm gonna want to play in a pot with sixes, and this guy is most likely not going to fold. So pocket sixes versus these two stats right here. Even though I'm out of position, like, I do feel like I have enough of an edge where I can make a play, and if I hit a set, I can win the pot. So it's 8-4-4. He bets 90 cents. I call. That's fine. Queen 8-4-4. I check. He checks. I check. He bets 175. And at this point, I could probably fold. Let's see what I do. It looks like I call. I mean, calling here is like, I don't think it's that bad, because again, this guy's 51-7, and he could be doing some random stuff. Looks like he has king. Like, I'm not really sure why he would check the queen though. He might have just been scared of a flush. I don't know. That's a super dry board for him. He should be very happy to bet the queen, but well played, good hand. I don't think the call on the river there was that bad versus that kind of a player. And then I'm just going to make a note about it and then adjust and then play better against them in the future. Okay, so he's got $3 left. He's 43-2. I'm going to bet this. I bet half pot just to kind of get weaker 10s and under pairs to call, like 9s, 8s, 7s. That's a nice card. So I bet. Again, I don't have to bet too much to get the rest of his money. He calls. He shoves, I call. And he has an ace, so he hits his trips on the river. It's whatever. Pocket aces. Okay, I 3-bet the 17-12 to 80 cents. I'm happy with that. Pretty dry flop. I'm gonna basically just hope that he has a jack of some sort, like a jack ace, jack king, jack queen, and he's gonna call me like 2 times. Probably not gonna call a river shove. So I'm not gonna try to I'm not really gonna be thinking about setting myself up for a shove, because the guy doesn't look too fishy. But 114 and a 165 is, it's pretty good. He could call me with 10s, call me with 9s. He might even call me on the turn with pocket 10s or pocket 9s on this turn 7. It's opening up 8, 9 of hearts and things like that, 9, 10 of hearts, if he has like a suited connector of some sort. So I'm going to want to bet this again, definitely. And I don't think I mean, I could go higher than 238. I could probably go a little higher than that, like 275, 280. And also the 7 takes away more of their set combos, so it's more likely that he has like a set of 4s or even a set of jacks. I guess his 3-bet is so small that he probably doesn't get aggressive with jacks, but he could have queens, he could have kings, maybe queens. But so he calls, and I think that I'm just gonna I'm just gonna like probably bet fold this. Maybe I'll just shove. I mean, I don't think that he's not really shown any aggression so far. And I have to remember that even like nittier players at these stakes at 10 and 0, that like they're still pretty bad players, and they're gonna call you down pretty lightly. So I think shoving here is pretty fine. Betting it like $3, $4 is fine. So it looks like I shove, and he folds. So he might have had tens. He might have had like a weak jack. But with the pot size and my shove, and he could have called me with like a jack ace or jack king maybe. So, but the difference is that if I set the hand up, if I bet a little bit bigger on the turn here, like let's say I bet like 280, that's an extra $1. So this pot would have been like 969, and I would have had more like 5 something remaining. So shoving like 5 into 9 something would get more of a call from dead Babaj. So I think that my turn bet could have been bigger, and because of this turn card, I would have felt a little bit more safe setting myself up for a shove on the river. I guess you could say that I'm kind of nitty for not wanting to set myself up for a shove from the beginning, but that's only because I feel like I probably didn't look at the stats too much, but I feel queens and kings I'm just expecting to kind of be like 4-bet sometimes, more like kings. But I think I was giving this guy too much credit for like not calling me down with the jack to the river. But the turn bet I think definitely should have been bigger. Once that heart came and the 7, the board paired, I would have felt a lot more comfortable thinking that I would have like the best hand here. So let's just say that my turn bet sizing was a little bit too small, and my shove here would have been a better price if he did have a weak jack. Next hand, queen king. Okay, I got a call. Okay, he bets into me. I don't really see any reason to raise. I'm going for a gut shot. I have overs. I'm not going anywhere. He checks. I'm going to bet this, and that's a decent size. He calls, and he checks. I'm going to bet again. He calls, and I win that pot. So that's nice. I don't really see why I would need to bomb the river here. If he has, I guess if he has jack queen or jack ace or something like that, like he might be inclined to call me, but also that puts up a straight. It puts up the jack king, and if this guy could actually find a fold with like a jack queen if I bomb the river for like 350, 3 something. 250 is a pretty safe bet. I probably could have gone like 275, 280. But I think if I went a little bit higher, like 3 something, it would scare him away. I think the range from like 250 to 280 is a good range for that river and the turn card on this board. After he's checking the turn, because he obviously doesn't like the king coming out. He's a little scared of it. Jack ace. This guy's limping. I'm going to raise it to 60 cents. I could probably raise a little bit bigger, just to make sure that nobody else calls me. And, well, wait a second. No, he didn't limp. So what I'm doing here is, because I've probably played with this guy before, and I'm raising really big pre-flop to isolate this player and to be in position against this whale, because that's really, really bad stats. I don't raise to 30 cents anymore, standard every single time. I'll raise to 60 cents, 50 cents, 80 cents, just to get a call from these really big fish, and they will call. Like, trust me, they're going to call a lot. So, looks like I check. He bets. What? Okay, so he only. I was like, I freaked out. He only has 255 remaining. That's fine. I don't see any reason that shoving here is a bad play. He could be betting. He could be betting like a lot of stuff, like ace high, ace queen, ace 10 of suited, things like that. So I'm just gonna shove my mid pair. He is a king, so it's whatever. I don't see any reason to hit myself for that. King queen suited, I'm getting 3-bet, and I call. King queen suited is a pretty strong hand. I'm out of position. The guy is only 8.63 bet, but it is cutoff versus blind. So I check, he checks, I bet, he calls, and I bet again, and he shoves. So I think what I'm thinking is I'm just gonna get out like all the ace highs on this river. Pocket sevens, pocket sixes if he likes 3-betting light with like lower mid pairs. I don't really mind. I don't mind my turn bet, and I don't mind my river bet. But at this time, I could have a 10. I could be betting a 10. I could have a jack. A jack is definitely in my range because I'm showing weakness, and a jack is kind of like in a weak strong range, like a jack king, jack ace, things like that aren't going to be 4-betting. I could be showing a flush. I could have like a straight by now. So he could be folding his ace highs, fold his pocket sevens, things like that. But you know, he shoves. He might just shove because I'm only betting $2. Like I'm not showing a lot of strength, and he might be bluffing me. But I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that I should have checked the river here, or I should have just checked the turn as well, check folded, because I don't really have much equity on this board. I could have just given it up. But also, because he checks the flop, it just makes me think that he already has like a showdown value, like pocket sevens, pocket sixes maybe, ace high, jack queen suited. And it looks like I'm squeezing. I wanna get this guy to call me, the 73-14 player to call. So this is a nice flop. I had mid pair, and this guy bets really big, and he checks the turn, and I'm definitely, I feel comfortable betting the river because he's 73-14. 15% 3-bet percentage, like it's a small sample, but because there's 2 aces on the board and I have a strong second pair, I'm comfortable betting this and having him call me with jack 10, jack 9, jack 8, pocket 10s. Even king high. Sometimes these players will call with king high on this kind of a board. And in the last video, if you watched my part 3, you saw a player with stats that aren't as bad as this. They were like 50-15. And he called me down with 4th pair. He called my river shove with 4th pair. I mean, those are the kind of players that you're dealing with these stakes, with these stats. So he calls, and I win the pot. So I don't know what he had, but he could easily have had pocket 9s, pocket 8s, king high. Like, honestly, just trust me on this. He could have had king high because he thinks I'm bluffing him, and he likes his king high on this board. It's a pretty dry board. 7-9 suited. Okay, I raise. I'm gonna go a little bit quicker here. I get 3-bet. I'm in position this time to the 3-bet, and this guy, we're a little bit deeper, and he's been 3-betting me a lot. I thought maybe he was trying to like play against me or get tricky against me. I wanted to get a feeling for what he did post flop, so I flop a nice flop here. Like, this is a good flop. I have a pair. This is a 3-bet pot. He has ace queen, so he checks the queen. Again, like, I think checking the queen was just really bad on his part. The board is so drawy. He could easily have bet the queen. I would have called with pocket jacks, pocket tens. I could have had a worse queen with diamonds. Like, he should have bet that queen, in my opinion. I'm not really sure why he didn't bet the queen. But then, because he check bet, like, I'm going to call off the river bet, just to kind of see what he does, like what he's doing, get some information, and then make a note about him, and then adjust my play. That's a fine hand in my opinion. I really don't mind me calling that river bet. Okay, so we have jack queen. I raise. The guy's 43-2. Jack 4 ace. I'm going to be betting this because it's a jolly board. He could be calling me with anything. Tens, nines, clubs, king, 4. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bet this as well. He calls, I bet again, and he calls, and he has ace 5. So the other hand, I'm betting the mid pair, second pair, and the guy, I won the hand, and then this guy, he happened to have an ace, and I lose. And in part 3, the guy called me down with fourth pair. So sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. You can't really look at the times that they do have it and then say like, oh, you can't bet your mid pair, your second pair, because he would have called me down with a worse jack and also pocket tens, pocket nines, and clubs and things like that as well. Okay, so I'm being min 3-bet by. I have a $42 stack here. Like, I was doing work this session. Okay, so I'm 4-betting him. I want to hope that an ace or king hits and then I can just get my money in. So let's see what happens here. 47-27, I 4-bet. He calls. And this happens. So the pot's pretty big, and my plan going in was if an ace or king hits, I'm going to try to get stacks in. King, queen, ace, queen would call if a king or queen hits. And I'm going to get a lot of money from them if they have... because he 3-bet me, I'm not going to be putting him on like a mid-pair or anything like that. I guess he could because he has a 14% 3-bet. But at the same time, he's so bad that ace-king is the nuts if an ace or king hits, like, a lot of the time. So he bets. I call. He bets again, and I fold. I guess maybe check calling that flop. You could argue was not it was unneeded. Like, I didn't need a call. I could have just check folded. But at the same time, I do have backdoor diamonds. It's a 6-8-6 flop. He could be doing this with overcards, but and his bet flop percentage is so high. And then the turn bet, I'm just like, I really just don't feel like continuing with this, like bluff catching with ace high against this player without more information. So I fold, and he could have had a worse hand, I don't know, but it just sucks that an ace or king didn't hit. I don't think my 4-bet pre was bad at all against this player. I think that's just bad luck. Maybe I could have check folded the flop. So I'm raising to 50 cents again because there's a 74-4. I'm raising bigger to get calls, and again, they keep calling me because I'm raising bigger. King 2 off is like the nuts against this player. His range is so freaking big. He could be playing like 4-2 suited, Queen 7, and a King Queen could flop, and then I get a, yeah, so I get a good flop here. I'm gonna be bombing this, like potting it 132 to pot is fine. Call. I'm really enjoying my life right now because the guy is calling me, and that's like not the best river card. So I check, and I win the pot. So yeah, that's a really bad river card. If it was anything else other than a 10, or I guess other than a 5, I would have just shoved and probably won the pot against this guy. I'm not worried about the flush because this guy is calling my 50-cent raise pre-flop and didn't really do anything on the flop return, so he probably doesn't have like a set or anything like that. I'm really surprised that I won this hand though. This guy might just be like a super fish and calling me with like pocket 10 or jacks or 9s or something like that. Next hand, 9-ace suited. Again, I'm raising to 50 cents pre-flop because there's like a 47-27 and a 73-14, which I have position on, and these guys aren't going to want to get too involved with me when I'm opening from the early position, and I have a big stack. Like, I'm just trying to grow my stack, trying to stack these whales here, and so this guy calls me. He's going to call me with everything, and everyone's basically calling me. I guess because I've been doing this a lot, this 50-cent raise, and they want to get in the action. They might even know that there's like fish here, and they want to try to get in the action. So I'm like an action player. They want my money. And if they have a HUD, they probably think I'm a little bit laggy as well, because my stats are a little bit laggy here. Definitely on the laggy side. So here I'm gonna bet. And just try to clear the field and see what happens. So this guy calls. That's great. I'm gonna bet again. $3 is fine. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna set myself up for a push because he's gonna call me down with a king. He's gonna call me down with a worse ace and see what happens here. Oh wow. Looks like I don't bet the river. I think I should have shoved the river. A worse ace could easily call me. I don't know why I got a little bit scared. Maybe like a hand right before this, I had someone suck out on me or like have a weird 2-pair. But this, I think, this is a pretty obvious shove. 16 to 10-50. I've got it's like a pretty medium strong top pair on this board here, and he's 73-14. He could definitely be calling me with an ace 3 or ace 2, ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, ace 7, king, queen, king, jack. Again, he's just a huge whale. So I think I missed value on that hand. That was my bad. Don't be scared to shove rivers with ace 9 on that board against a player like that. I wouldn't recommend it against a player that's like 21-14, that's like an ABC player, because that would probably be a bad idea. But against the 70-something, 14 or whatever he was. So I call. I donk. It's fine. I just want to clear the field, maybe win the pot right here, see what happens. That's a good card, so I'm going to bet. He calls. And here, this sucks. So I'm probably just going to bet again and hope that a queen jack or something calls me, like maybe an ace 10. An ace 10? No, an ace 10 would have had a straight on the turn. But jack, queen, 10, king. I mean, there's a few hands that might call me. Oh, something like maybe like an ace 9 of clubs that might call the ace on the river. They might call. He wins. He has queen king. I don't think that my river bet was bad. Like I don't think that was too bad. I don't know. I think another thing is I didn't really want to give this guy like a room to bluff me. I didn't feel comfortable check folding against this player, so I just decided to just toss out like a half pot bet. Hope he calls me with an ace or a worse 2 pair. Okay, so yeah, okay, this is pretty standard. You know, I'm betting because I have a top pair. I bet again, and I'm shoving because he only had like $5 to begin, so I bet shove, and I win the pot. He has a worse queen. That's great. Pocket fives. Did I limped? Yeah, I think I limped that. I mean, you can judge me if you want to, but I was probably involved with some other hands at some other tables, and I see the pocket fives, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. I just want to get in the pot and call before the timers run out. So I definitely would prefer have raising, because the 53-22 and the 53-16 I have position on, and if I hit a set and I can grow the pot, especially if against this guy, because we're a little bit deeper. I have a little bit deeper than 100 big blinds. So money. I'm again, like, I mean, I could have made the pot could have been like 90 cents, and I could have grown the pot a lot bigger, but here I'm just gonna raise. Yeah, I raise, and there we go. That's a nice turn card, because if he has a king, I'm gonna take all his money. He calls, and he bets $1 on the river, and I shove, and he calls. He has 7 king, so not really sure what he's doing. He's playing like a fish, but it's great that he had a king. I mean, that's nice, but I shouldn't have limped. That was bad. That's a nice flop. So 43-2 and at 18-16, I'm going to be bombing this and just hope that Poker Fairy folds, and I can just get my money in against this guy. So $1, yeah, $1 into 105 is really good. Pot's 305. He's only got like 560 left. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna bet again. Yeah, I mean, this board here is like, it's kind of icky, but at the same time, like, this guy could still be calling me with Jack Queen, Jack King, 9 Ace, 10 Ace of Clubs, 10 King of Clubs. There's a lot of hands that this guy could be calling me with, because there's already so much money in the pot that he'll call me with almost anything. But he had queens, apparently, which sucks, so that hand's whatever. 2 ace. Yeah, I definitely want to be in the pot against these players, but at the same time, I don't really feel like raising the pot too big, because I'm sandwiched between them. I don't really like being in the middle between a multi-way pot. But if I can hit a nice flop with this and build a pot against these guys, definitely. So I just want to see a flop and see what happens. So he checks. I'm going to bet, growing the pot against them in case a flush hits, but also with the opportunity to just win the pot right now. So I get min raised, and then the guy checks. He probably doesn't like the flush, or maybe it's because he just doesn't like his hand very much. But either way, I'm going to be betting it pretty nicely. Yeah, 176 is pretty good. He calls, And here I'm just like, I'm just going to be hoping that he has a jack, and I'm going to be shoving. So I shove. He calls me. He's got jack king. So yeah, you got to shove that. That's a standard shove. Don't think about value betting that. And please, for God's sake, like, don't ever think that they have a boat or like jack 10 or be afraid of a boat. Just don't. Like, you got to shove this. You got to over shove it. He's got $6 left. If he had $7 or $8, like, I'd still be shoving this, because even a 10 could call with these stats. He could call me with like a 10 king, 10 ace, or a worse flush. He could have a worse flush as well. You gotta shove it. That's an obvious shove. Okay, we have aces. I get raised by 45-36. There's a 43-2 over here. So I'm just gonna 3-bet it pretty big. That's a little bit bigger than normal 3-bet sizing, which I'm happy with. He calls, and this is money. Jack 10-2 flop. That's a really good flop for drawy hands, pairs that want to continue, like pocket nines, 10x, jack x. So he bets, and here actually I would consider just raising this, but it looks like I don't raise. I think I would like to raise this because he's showing a little bit of interest. The board is super drawy, and he only has $8 left. I could just raise it to like $3 here and then just bet the turn and get the money in. So I really think that I'm playing it a little bit timid by just calling him, and I don't like that. I think I should have raised. I think that most players at this level are going to be making more calling mistakes than betting mistakes, so it's a better opportunity to raise the flop and get the money in on the turn than it is to pray that he is a barrel monkey and wants to continue barreling into me with air. So he bets, and here it looks like I'm just going to call again. I guess by this time I'm just like, I got this locked up because I got a set. There's really nothing that's going to happen that's going to stop me from getting my money in at this point. I mean, he obviously likes his hand, and I guess I was just a little bit afraid of scaring him off when the ace hit, because if he did have a jack at this point, it's possible that he folds. Or if he had a draw. I personally think that shoving the turn there might not be the best play, because of the specific card that came out. Like, it gave me like basically the nuts. It's a scare card, and it also opens up a lot more possibilities for him to get scared if I shove, if that makes sense. Okay, so I win. He has king 9, so he's bluffing. He bluff shoved the river with king high, which, I mean, it's I can't really blame him. I'm just calling, and the ace hits, and he can't really win the hand any other way. So yeah, but he would have definitely called the flop raise, and that's why I think that I didn't play that hand perfectly. Here it's 40-cent raise, and I'm jamming this 3-bet. Like, that's a really big 3-bet size. That's like almost a $2 3-bet at 10 and L. But this guy's super fishy, so I just want to get that money in. If an ace doesn't hit, I'm gonna be going to town. Okay, that's a perfect flop. He bets 30 cents. I raise really big, and he calls. And I'm not afraid of this jack at all. I'm not going to be afraid of the jack. The guy is a huge fish. He'll call me with like a really wide range here. So let's see what happens. He calls, and I win the pot. He has pocket 7s. Look at that. So again, like, just remember that these fish, like these stats, like, you have to just bet and bet if you have a good hand. Don't be afraid of the board. Don't be afraid of the board. He's calling me with sevens on this board. He might even think that his heart is good. Like if he hits another heart, he'll have the best flush. But they just don't believe aggression. They don't understand aggression. They don't even think about it. They like their pocket sevens. They're gonna call. They want to win. They want to gamble. They want to have some fun. You have to bet. You have to just bet, shove whenever you have a hand like that against that type of player. So I'm calling. Yeah, I mean 7-5 suited. I like these hands, and I'm in position, which is amazing. If you're a little bit newer, like super new at poker, like you might want to not call 7-5 suited because it could set you up for disaster. So he checks, I check. That's fine. He bets, I call. He bets, and I raise to 360, and oh wow. Okay, I think I remember this hand, and I really don't. I'm not really sure what to say here. It's like it's another $6 into $14.50, and I don't really know how this guy plays. But I mean, is he really? Okay, I think this is my thinking. If he has a 7 and he checks the flop, then he's most likely not going to be betting the turn with pocket 7 either, or like a 7, I mean. So let's see how this hand plays out. On the flop he checks, then I check. On the turn he bets 50 cents. If he had a set of queens or a set of 8s or a set of 7s, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have bet. So he bets again on the river, and then I raise, and then he jams. I mean, look, I can't put him on anything. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. 5, 6 is like the only thing that I could have given to this player. But then I'm thinking like 5, 6 might not even be in his range. Or cutoff range. 5, 6 suited maybe. But if he had 5, 6, I'm still thinking like he would have bet the flop. He would have like, because he has a straight draw, and that's a good flop to bet, in my opinion. Like if you're cutoff versus button. So his jam looked super like out of place, and so I called. He had pocket 4s, so as you can see, like that's one of like the only things that would have made sense, is if he had pocket 4s. There's literally, like as I said, nothing else that makes sense. If he had another set, or if he had he wouldn't be betting a 7 on the turn. And if he had 5, 6, I'm thinking that he's probably going to c-bet his 5, 6. So pocket 4s make sense. And I'm just like, okay, I just felt like I was out of luck there. I felt like that's kind of a cooler. And maybe I'm just trying to justify things, but I don't think that my call was too bad because of the way he played the hand and the way the board ran out. Like, I'm not always going to be calling with a weak trip 7s. Like, that's just, I'm not always going to be doing that. But this specific situation, I felt like calling him off would not really be a bad thing. He might even have thought that I was bluffing like a broken flush draw or something like that, and he'd try to bluff me back. But either way, so I'm 3-betting this pretty big. because we got a 37-19 here. And this guy just jams. He just 4-bet jams on me, and he's 37-19. His 3-bet percentage is pretty freaking high, even after like 80 hands. So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I just kind of snap it off. I don't even think about it. And he had king ace, so yeah, it's whatever. So this guy limps, and I'm going to be isolating him. I'm going to be raising it 55 cents. Like, I could go bigger than that too. 6 ace is super premium versus this type of a player. And it's a nice flop. So I'm going to be betting it. I don't want to bet too big, because I'm not really betting as a bluff. This is more like a value bet against this player. Like an ace high can be a value bet against certain players, and this is one of those times where it's possible. And I have a flush draw as well. So here it is. I hit the flush, and I bet a lot bigger now. If he has a jack or a king or a 7, like really hopefully he has a 7, and he calls. So the pot 723, I would like to see myself probably just jam it, just shove here. But actually, come to think of it, if he has a jack, he might not really want to call a shove. I mean, $8 is like a lot of money. It's a pretty big shove. So I think I take it safe for the like a value bet. I'm probably gonna con a little bit bigger, like 550. I think that 480 is like the extreme lowest end of like a range for a river bet on this board versus this player. And I think that I could have definitely gone a little bit bigger, like 550, 570, 6, 5, yeah, like 570 maybe. But he, as play, he shoves. He just shoves, and he has a weaker flush. I guess I think that shoving myself would have been a good play, because again, if he has a strong jack, that king probably isn't going to scare him away too much. He's already showing interest on a board that has 2 7s and a flush, and the king comes out, and I'm thinking, like, what could he possibly have that he's going to be folding at the river here that he called the flop and turn with? And he's a 43-9 player. So I really think that I should have shoved that. That's a spot that a shove would have made sense. But as we all know, like, even the best poker players will be reviewing their hands, and it's like it's in time. Like you're being timed. You have a timer. You have multiple tables. You might get distracted. Like my cat might have started pawing me or something, and I would have been like, "What the hell? Like, what? Okay, it's my cat." Or a big sound might have happened, or you might just be like super hungry or something like that, or your phone's ringing and you just get distracted, or something happens, or you're not really playing perfect poker. But this is why session review is so helpful, because you get time to go back and forth between the hands. So here it is. I flop a flush, and I'm going to bet. I'm not going to slow play it. It's a 42-17 and a 24-19. If this guy wants to come along, that's great. I don't really care if he does or not, but I'm pretty sure that this guy is going to call me with almost anything. So I'm going to bet big again. I would like to have seen myself bet bigger. Again, just to grow the pot more, just to get a little bit extra few cents, like 250. If he has an ace, he's not folding. I know that for a fact. And if he's got like 9, 10, Okay, well, he has an. If he has an ace, I just want to bank on the fact that he has an ace, and just make this get more money in by the river, than to take the chance that he has like an 8 and get like a smaller bet, and then he might fold the river if like a king or an hits. So betting bigger here, an extra 35, 40 cents. If you can get an extra 35 or 40 cents in like 10 times every 2,000, 3,000 hands, like that's really going to actually help your win rate. And long term, like over 100,000 hands, that's going to be quite a lot more money actually. So at this point, that diamond, like I really don't like that diamond coming out, but again, because it's a diamond, I'm going to kind of contradict myself here. Because it's a diamond, it means that he's not really going to want to call me with much else. Even like the worst players in the world are not going to want to call this if they hold an ace 4 of hearts, because it's so easy, and they even know this. They know that it's so easy for the other player to have a diamond. So this is a chance for me to sort of just shove and hope that he has a jack of diamonds. Like really, even a 9 of diamonds might call if he thinks I'm bluffing. Just hope that he has like a jack or 9 of diamonds and just shove it. Jesus. So it looks like he's betting into me. And I'm just like, okay, I have the nuts, and so I'm going to jam. And he calls, and what does he have? See, he has the jack of diamonds. So this is a situation where it's a pretty standard jam. If he checked, I was going to jam. At least I hope I would. Because the value bet wouldn't really make much sense. Because if he doesn't have a diamond, he's not going to really want to call. So you might as well just shove and hope they have a jack of diamonds or a 9 of diamonds. And as he played, he got super aggressive against me. He was probably drawing to that diamond the whole time, and then he finds out that I already had a better flush on the flop, and he's just like, okay, well, my luck. I always have bad luck, but it's really just because he's not a good player. So I'm calling my pocket sevens, and this guy raises Gonzo. He's just growing the pile a bit, you know, just having some fun. So I flop top set, which is really nice, and he bets 25 cents into 285, so he's betting kind of funny. This guy calls, nobody's showing any aggression, so this is a time where I'm going to just jam the pot up, like to like 3 something probably. Okay, well, 263 is fine. So I get called twice. That's amazing. So 7-3-5-5. Gonzo checks. I bet a little bit here. This is one of those spots where I have the hands so perfectly locked up that I don't really need to bet big. I just need to bet enough to get them to call me, and then even if they have a flush draw, they might want to call me again. I just want to string them out a little bit. I want to give them some rope and just call me, hit their draw, hit their straight, hit their flush. If they have like pocket queens or somehow, like, they'll keep calling me. This guy messes up my plan. He shoves, which is going to kind of scare away this guy. So he folds. Obviously I call. He has aces. That's a nice pot. And I mean, I could have not played that very well, and I could have just called his 25 cent bet to try to disguise my set. But the best way to play it is to just play it aggressive and just hope that somebody has something. That's really the plan, is just hope that somebody has something and grow the pot. If they don't have anything and they fold to your raise, then you still win some money, but you're missing out on that chance to get your entire stack in, and that's your goal. So this guy doesn't know what he's getting into here. Can't really blame him if he has a strong hand. I mean, he's just 3-betting me, 4-betting, or 3-betting me. I'm 4-betting him. I don't want to go too big. Maybe he'll still call me with like king queen or ace queen or something like that for like another $1.60 just to see if flop he's in position and all that stuff. Okay, so that's weird. That's really, I remember this hand too. This is a funny hand because this guy really just confused me. But it doesn't matter because I have aces. So he just calls my 30-cent bet. I 4-bet, and then he just simply calls that as well, which is just, it's really funny to me. That guy jams. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I call, he calls, and this flop scares the shit out of me. I'm just like, oh my god, like, somebody has a straight, somebody has a set already. Again, like, this is the worst board, I think, for aces in this action. But the money goes to me. Queens and kings. So I win a really nice pot there. Yeah, that's a nice pot. I like that hand. Looks like we're on hand 28 already after 55 minutes. So we just went through 28 hands in 55 minutes. The first video, I went through 12 hands in 55 minutes. Sometimes, like, if it's, I just want to kind of talk a little bit more because I feel like people that watch this are newer players and they will want to gain more information. And I'm making these videos mostly for myself. And as I said, even if one person watches these videos and learns something and is able to improve their game and to think about their play and to understand that your objective analysis about your own play is the most helpful way to get better, then I feel like I succeeded and I feel like I have time well spent. And I'm going to be watching these videos more than anybody else is, just to remind myself that I can bet 30, 40 cents more here, 50, 60 cents more here, that I can shove this river rather than value betting it, that maybe I check called an ace high on a turn bet when I should have just check folded an ace high like in the last video, or maybe it was this one, but I think it was the last video. I check called like a $3 bet with just ace high, and I was out of position, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, this makes no sense. I don't see why I'm calling this with ace high. But sometimes I'm just calling rather than raising. Basically, like, where am I leaking a few dollars here and there, and where can I extract more value by just building the pot and getting aggressive? That's your philosophy at MicroStakes, is when you have a strong hand, you want to try to get your stacks in. And the only way to do that is to bet big, and shove, or raise somebody's bet big, then bet big again, and shove. Like, it's really just about getting your stacks in. That's your main goal. And also understanding that you can value bet pretty. I'm going to call this just because we're deeper. So I hit a 5. He bets big. At this point, because the way that his 3-bet sizing was pretty big actually, and his flop bet was pretty big, so I'm probably thinking, like, the way that the pot's growing already, like, I don't need to raise it. in order to get the money in. Because if he has kings or aces or ace queen, on this flop, he's not going to think that I have a set of twos or a set of fives. And if he has a queen or kings or aces, I guess the only thing that could screw me over here is if a club hit on the turn. But if I raise this flop and he happens to have, well, I guess I'm giving him too much credit, but at like 100 no limit or something like that, if the guy has like an ace with an ace of clubs and I raise this flop and they kind of know like what my 3-bet defending range is, I mean, it's whatever. But basically, like, it's $2. I'm going to call it $2. Then the turn pot is going to be $6.50. And if he bets like $4.50 and I call $4.50, that's 9 plus the $6.50 is like $14. And he's going to have like $10, $9 remaining in his stack. So if he wants to play with me on the river, and he has like kings or aces or something like that, and he wants to play against me, he's already building this pot up so big that if I shove the river, he's going to be in a really sick spot. And if I raise now, I've actually seen some players kind of just fold when they're this deep. They get a little bit stomach sick. I guess a min raise could have been fine, but either way, like, the guy 3-bets me pretty big, and he bets big, so I'm pretty confident that. Oh, another thing is that if he has ace king, then I'm just gonna scare him away. If I raise this flop, he's not gonna call me, but I could give him a chance to hit a king or an ace on the turn, and if he has kings or aces, he's gonna bet anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing to think about. You kind of just want to let the player bet against you. If the pot's already growing nicely, you just want to let them bet against you. If you bet like $1, or if you bet like 90 cents or $1.10 or $1.20, I might consider raising it, but with his bet sizing here, I'm happy with how he's growing the pot. So as you can see here, it's like if I call 470, that's going to be, and I'm thinking about these things during the hand. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to match his 470, and that's going to make it like 940 plus 6 is 15, and he's going to have 11 remaining. And I'm thinking about these things. You have to think about how the pot is growing and how your bet sizing on the flop and turn are going to grow the pot, so that by the river you can shove. These are very, very important things to think about, is how you're growing the pot size. So it's $15.74. He has $11 remaining, and like, luckily another club didn't hit. If a club did hit, then he might consider just check folding, but I could still put a value bet in. I could still bet like $6-7, and he'll call me easy if he has kings or aces, just because he might think that I'm betting a queen, like a queen ace or something like that. But he shoves. As played, he shoves, and my mouth is just watering here. I'm not afraid of a set of jacks, because he bet the flop and turn. Pocket eights, maybe. Pocket queens, like if he has pocket queens, it's good game, good job, well played, and you just take your ball home and cry a little bit, maybe throw up, but you're not gonna be able to. The only other thing is like 9-10. He could have had like a 9-10 of clubs, and he could have just been barreling off and hit a straight on the river. But I'm just not folding that. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to fold and he had aces, so I won that pot. I need a lot more information against a player to fold a set here. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to fold that. Okay, so that wraps up the 28 hands, an hour and 5-minute video, which is great. So let's see here. Well, this is officially New Year's Eve, I guess. It's 1 a.m. on the 31st. I guess that wouldn't really be New Year's Eve because it's still just the morning. But yeah, peace out. And more of these videos are going to be coming. And if you happen to watch all of them, you're definitely going to be seeing an improvement in my argument and my analysis. And every single video that I make, the first 3 videos the first 2 videos I've watched multiple times, and I really do just watch the videos on my downtime. And instead of like watching Netflix or something like that, I'll watch my session replay videos, and I'll really think about like where I'm making mistakes and where I can improve. And I used to play the 100 NL games, and I used to play 2-5 at the casino, so I was a professional poker player for a year, but I don't have a bankroll right now, and this is me just having a project to rebuild my bankroll and to improve even more. And I really do hope that somebody is gaining some value out of these videos. And yeah, thank you so much. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy it, and peace out.